Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayo Deji. Makinde will begin with legislative matters. Senate has passed the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2022, which seeks to alter Section 84 by deleting the existing subsection 8 and inserting a new subsection 8 after subsection 7. The bill, sponsored by Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Ovie Omoagege, seeks to provide for the inclusion of statutory delegates who, not being elected delegates as prescribed in the constitution of a political party, participate in its convention. Provision of statutory delegates was omitted in the Electoral Act signed by the President.
Couched. Section 84, subsection 8 of the Electoral Act 2022 does not provide for the participation of what is generally known as statutory delegates in the conventions, congresses, or meetings of political parties. Mr. President, this is an unintended error.
Ensure that what the political parties are known to do by allowing statutory delegates, in addition to the delegates that will be elected by the various political parties, constitute the Electoral College.
We still have a lot of, sections in the Electoral Act that we need to look into.
Such an unintended clause has to be amended before the party primaries start in the next 8 days. And therefore, this is an emergency legislation, so to speak.
In the meantime, the House of Representatives will reconvene an emergency plenary session to amend a fundamental error in the Electoral Act. A statement from the Office of the Clerk of the House, Yahaya Danzaria, indicates that the session will hold on Wednesday, 11th May 2022 at 11 in the morning. House members are expected to attend and ensure the conduct of the important legislative function. As the June 3rd deadline for the submission of party candidates approaches, the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, is appealing to INEC for 2 months extension for the conduct of party primaries. The chairman of IPAC, Yagwaji Sani, made the appeal at a consultative meeting with INEC in Abuja. INEC chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, however, says the hands of the commission are tied by the new Electoral Act, so June 3rd for the submission of candidates remains sacrosanct.
The IPAC leadership is appealing to the INEC to extend the deadline for the conduct of party primaries and resolution of ensuing conflicts from the present INEC given date of 3rd June 2022 to 9th of July 2022.
I hereby reiterate the position of the Commission that there will be no review of the timelines. There are so many interrelated activities that are associated with the timelines which must be carried out. Any review to extend the timelines for one activity will affect other activities and put unnecessary pressure on the political parties and the Commission.
The new national chairman of the APC and the PDP attended the meeting for the first time. The right to vote and be voted for and associate freely are democratic tenets that encourage civic consciousness through political participation. With Nigeria's democracy becoming stronger and given the number of aspirants who have shown interest for various offices in the 2023 elections, some Nigerians in Uyo are upbeat that the move will consolidate the gains of the country's democracy. Let's join Clement Barikwi for the reports.
Democracy is all about the people, and what the people need are leaders who can help bring the much-desired dividends of this system of government to them. Elections, either at the party level or general elections, are therefore targeted at getting the right persons for the jobs. With the release of election timetable by INEC, political parties have thrown their doors open for aspirants, thereby creating what many Nigerians say is the highest number of aspirants for party primaries in the nation's electoral history.
There is no way in 2023 that Nigerians will make the mistake of selecting or electing any governor or any president that will not deliver on the dividends of democracy.
I know so many of them that mean well. That's why I'm talking about a level playing ground. We have the options of saying this person can give Nigeria the kind of leadership that the country needs.
Democracy opens the way for people to get involved, people to go to take active part in politics.
As at the time of this report, presidential aspirants of the two major political parties are put at APC about 27 and PDP at about 17, out of which 15 have been cleared, and these numbers are likely to rise in the coming days. For the governorship ticket, the PDP has not more than 201, while APC has about 95. Though the number of aspirants for all the political offices have tripled when compared to previous elections, the consensus of the respondents is for the country to have leaders who are committed to surpassing democratic gains already achieved at all levels of governance. In Uyo, Clement Barkui, NTA News.
The need to intensify mentorship and grooming of youth through the various training institutions has been reiterated for Nigeria to produce formidable leaders. This was the consensus of various experts who discussed the concept of leadership for a second successive day on Good Morning Nigeria. Ekemini Williams has the details.
It has been acknowledged that Nigeria has a challenge with leadership recruitment, which diverse interventions seem not to have successfully addressed. The experts attributed the numerous problems contending with the country to include unemployment of youth, recurring challenge of leadership, to the non-inclusiveness nature of the political process.
I have seen situations where beautiful training programs are arranged in Nigeria. Less functional training programs arranged in Dubai or elsewhere. People prefer to go there. Why? Because they will earn extra code. When they get there, they send their aides to go and attend the training on their behalf while they are all over the streets on vacation, shopping. And then he comes back and signs a report he knows nothing about. And at the end of the day, he's your leader.
And this patronage or patrimonial issues of leadership have been a big bend. It is as if my level of competence is 45% and I'm leaving office, I better bring somebody who will perform at 30% so that they will say, oh, he didn't do as well like I did.
Nigeria will have gifts, talent, name it. In movie industry, in music industry, in entertainment, in fashion, name it. We have everything that we needed. But one thing that is lacking is that we don't have the great leaders that will expose all that.
The fundamental solution to this situation, they believe, is for Nigeria to re-establish policies and structures that will produce leaders through training and proactive mentorship of youths.
Citizenship and Leadership Training Center is there. His own organization is there. Prof mentioned an institution in the University of Abuja. These are institutions already in place. But what about the level of patronage of these institutions?
Now the solution must be political and partisan. You know, I think we shy away from politics, and that's why we would continue to complain and agonize. No, we must now organize and mobilize to educate.
Youths were encouraged to be politically active because every facet of their lives, from education to employment, is influenced by politics. In Abuja, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
Now let's talk some power generation matters, because the Minister of State for Power, Godi Jedi Agba, said issues of gas constraints, vandalism of gas pipelines, transmission towers and lines are responsible for the recurring collapse of the national grid. The minister was at the National Assembly to brief the Senate Committee on Power on the state of Nigeria's national grid. Ignatius Nkwo reports.
National grid collapse has continued to pose serious challenge in Nigeria's power sector in spite of the huge financial commitment of government. In 2017, Nigeria witnessed 15 national grid collapses. In 2018, 12 collapses, 9 in 2019, 4 in 2020, 2 in 2021, and 3 this year between March and April. Worried by these statistics, the Senate mandated its Committee on Power to engage the Ministry of Power, Transmission Company of Nigeria, and other actors in the sector for explanations.
Federal government has continued to pump in money. Why are we still where we are?
Issues of right of way across various states of the Federation. Recently, we raised this issue with the Governors Forum.
If it means the federal government needs to go back to the subsidy issue, which was the federal government intervention, which has been stopped.
The Minister of State for Power listed the causes of these collapses and explained that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has been directed to approve $50 million special gas pricing for the power plant owned by the Niger Delta Power Holding Company.
Between 3,000 and 4,000 megawatts per day. That's the average good squad.
It's a simple thing.
Help us.
I want to put it on record that system collapse affects the GENCOs more than anybody in the value chain.
When we say alignment, what we are saying is that if you are able to generate 5,000 megawatts, we must be able to transmit 5,000 megawatts. We must be able to distribute 5,000 megawatts.
So in this regard, what the Commission is working on is effective 1st of July this year, we will partially activate some PPAs to the level of 5,000 megawatts. Now, that will guarantee that this is always available.
There is a need to have a multidimensional approach as to solve this issue.
The Ministry of Power explained that it's considering the implementation of a new surveillance technology that will check vandalism. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Federal and state governments are embarking on a coordinated approach to implement off-grid electrification projects for rural communities. Joshua Ojito reports that the Rural Electrification Agency is driving the initiative to ensure every community has access to electricity to boost rural economy.
From the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, policymakers and industry players in the power sector are here to share experiences, challenges and interventions to bridge the energy gap in rural communities.
The RA has collaborated with us. We have one mini grid which was commissioned about 2 years ago. By the end of this program, we will understand especially the legal framework for us to generate power for our people. Every community deserves to have electricity.
With the target to power in Nigeria with one community at a time, Rural Electrification Agency is facilitating the conversation on how best to implement rural electrification projects. While federal government seeks more private sector participation to deploy off-grid solutions in rural communities, there are challenges hindering implementation of rural electrification projects in the hinterlands, which this forum is expected to address.
So much effort has been put into it already. I can tell you that of all the 6 geopolitical states, we have had 2 projects in 2 communities in every of the geopolitical zones. And we're spreading it more and more. After this retreat, we'll see more of the work.
It's very important for it to have productive use for our rural communities. So I think these are the things that we're really working on currently to ensure that our programs become more coordinated and more effective at the state level and domesticated from state to the local governments as well.
Nigeria Governors Forum and development partners are supporting the initiative to ensure that every community is energized. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
In the meantime, Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission is strengthening human capacity to meet set targets of delivering on key areas of its mandate across coastal communities. This came to the fore at a strategic leadership and management training for senior staff of the Commission. Abubakar Akwanga reports.
Inefficiencies in leadership and management skills constitute a bane on the seamless implementation of policies and programs of any statutory agency. This is why the Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission is collaborating with the Center for Leadership Development to enhance staff capacity and stimulate productivity.
We are having a management retreat, a management program, a management training that will guide and enhance the knowledge of the management staff for effective programs and project delivery to the Commission.
At the end of your interaction with facilitators, you will have been able to discover areas you need to improve on to engender the needed leadership aimed at taking Hypertech to the next level of development and growth.
As the Commission continues to match its words with actions, popular demands of communities captured on the priority list are now changing from paper plans to physical projects. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
Still on power, 3 weeks after the transmission tower in Akwa Ibom State was brought down by vandals, federal government has reconstructed and mounted back the tower to restore electricity supply to Cross River State and other franchise areas. The tower, which connects Odukpani Ikotekpene 330 kV double-circuit transmission line, evacuates more than 400 megawatts of electricity generated from the Odukpani power plants to the national grid. Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, which is handling the reconstruction work, promises that the line will be energized in the next 1 week. The Federal Inland Revenue Service has stated the need for improved collaboration among countries and international stakeholders with the aim of exploring alternative rules that will enable African countries to effectively subject digital businesses to tax. A statement by the media assistant to the FIRS chairman, Oluwatobi Wojuola, indicates that the FIRS chairman, Mohammed Nami, said this at a technical assistance program organized by African Tax Administrators Forum in Lomé, Togo. The FIRS observed that although some African countries had endorsed the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, Inclusive Framework's global solution on the tax challenges of the digitized economy, Nigeria's position remains that the outcome would not be favorable to African countries due to its cost-to-profit ratio. The FIRS wants African countries to rather focus on inherent opportunities within the continent. All right, the moment, let's cross over now and tell you that academic activities at Kaduna State University remains paralyzed despite directives by the University Authority for the resumption of academic activities. Achari Maxwell reports.
Based on directives of University Authority, students have resumed but yet to commence classes as members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Kaduna State University branch, insist on strike. Some students have been lamenting on the situation.
We haven't resumed lectures yet, but according to what was posted online, they said we have resumed school.
And here we are here in school, and school has not resumed. I'm here to see how the atmosphere is and whether there's any.
Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Johanna Taylor, says the University Authority will not go back on its decision.
All our lecturers as well as students should resume work. Students should come back for classes, and all workers should go back to their respective posts. I will try to find out whether there is compliance or not before I take further action.
Though declined to appear on camera, the chairman of Academic Staff Union of Universities, KASU, said the union is still on strike in Kaduna. Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
Now, let's connect with Achari Maxwell in Kaduna for an update of what is ongoing concerning Kaduna State University and, of course, the lingering ASU strike. Achari, if you can hear me very well, we've just seen your report at the moment now. Tell us, is there any genuine intention to actually see the students return to the classrooms?
Okay, thank you. Let's say 2 weeks ago, there was a circular from the management that academic activities should resume. So when we came in yesterday, the school was full of students who were full of expectations, and they were ready for their lectures. What I cannot confirm is whether lectures actually took place yesterday or not. But as of yesterday, students were sitting in their clusters waiting for lecturers to come in, even though I cannot really confirm whether lectures took place or not. But here with me, I have the acting vice chancellor of the institution, that's Professor Johanna Taylor, who will be telling us more on the developments in the schools. Yes. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Please, can we know what's the situation at the moment?
Actually, we had management meeting today, and I received a security report as regard to the compliance of my directives regarding the continuation in lectures as of yesterday, 9th of May, 2022.
So, were there lectures in the school?
Yes, I received a good report from the security office, actually telling me that we are now recording the highest number of people and students coming from outside into the university, and mostly our students. So I think students have actually listened to our directives to resume for classes immediately.
What are the lecturers on their part? Are they responding to the directives?
We expect that they should be responding to our directives as management.
So what should we be looking forward in the days ahead?
We are looking forward to the continuous response to our earlier call to actually assume lectures immediately.
We also had a series of meetings and consultations today. Can you tell us more about these meetings?
Yeah, we have actually met with the leadership of ASU branch several times, I think 3 times, and then we try to look at the diplomatic way of resolving the crisis. However, the Pro-Chancellor is already attending to the local need of our CASU branch, and he has actually directed that there should be a meeting between the council, management, as well as the executive of the ASU branch.
Thank you, Prof. And we have to look forward in the days ahead to see what plays out from all these series of meetings. I'll now hand you over to our studios in Kaduna, where Salamatu Lukman is standing by. Over to you, Salamatu.
Thank you, Ashari, for that details. We begin with political matters. People's Democratic Party Northwest has conducted a zonal congress in Kaduna with the election of former chief whip of the Senate in 7th Assembly, Bello Hayatu Gwarzo, as party's zonal national vice chairman for the zone. Dauda Muhammad reports.
700 delegates from 7 states in the Northwest geopolitical zone met in Kaduna to elect zonal vice chairman of the party to fill his existing vacancy. The process leading to the emergence of Bello Hayatu Gwarzo from Kano State is hitch-free. The election, presided over by the party's electoral committee chairman Atai Aidoko, declared Bello Hayatu Gwarzo winner, who polled 426 votes, while Yusuf Jamu, the main challenger of the winner, got 313 votes.
Today we have witnessed the Congress at second place, and election has been conducted.
This unity, with this election of the new set of leadership in the Northwest, we are hoping to have the 7th state being controlled by the PDP from 2023.
The turnout is almost 80 to 90%. As you can see, almost all the delegates across the zone came and cast their vote smoothly.
Other positions were unanimously endorsed by the delegates. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
Away from political matters to security, Nigerian Army is in the process of re-engaging the services of retired officers to contribute their experience in the ongoing fight against terrorism and defense of Nigeria. Chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, said this in a message to a meeting held with retired Army officers under the 1 Division Nigerian Army, Kaduna. Suleiman Regachkun tells us more.
Army officers who have dedicated over 30 years of active engagement in service to the fatherland are retired under 1 Division Nigerian Army area of responsibility. They are coming together with serving senior officers of the Army, provided an avenue for discussion on national security.
Has encouraged retired Nigerian officers.
In a message, Chief of the Army Staff, Lieutenant General Faruk Yahaya, reminded them of their obligation to Nigeria, saying the Nigerian Army has concluded plans to re-engage all active retired personnel to assist in the ongoing effort to rid the country of terrorists.
Never to rest on your oars, even in retirement, until this war is brought to an end in favor of the armed forces and by extension, our nation. I would also like to use this opportunity to inform you of ongoing efforts to re-engage the services of our qualified, retired, and discharged personnel.
General Officer Commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Kabir Mukhtar, former Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General Mahmoud Yarima, also tasked the retired Army officers to continue to be supportive to the armed forces and communities they reside in. Suleiman Rigachkun, NTA News.
And that is it from Kaduna. Back to Ayo Deji for the continuation of the news.
You're welcome back. The President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has urged the Academic Staff Union of Universities to end its 3 months industrial action, describing the recurring strike as a huge challenge to Nigeria's socio-economic development. Senator Lawan disclosed this while granting audience to the executive of the National Association of Nigerian Students, led by Methodist Bishop and President Vision Africa, Bishop Sunday Onoha, where he promised that the Senate will make concerted efforts to ensure that ASU and federal government are back to the negotiating table soon.
The nuns decided that they are not happy and they will go to the street to express that they no longer want to stay at home. They want to go back to school. When I spoke to them and they accepted to wait and to meet with you, it means they have faith and absolute confidence in what these hallowed chambers can do.
Because we made a press conference on the 1st of this month that no will have their primary in Abuja here. If ASU matter is not being resolved,
We'll make concerted and sustained efforts to bring back ASU and the federal government back to the negotiating table, so that we are able to resolve as quickly as possible those issues that are now very naughty and have stopped our universities from being opened. That is now making our students working the streets all over the country. But I want to appeal to you too. Since we are going to make efforts to bring back everybody to the negotiating table, you should give us a chance to do that.
Senator Lawan further observed that the 2009 agreement between ASU and the federal government has been the main cause of the recurring industrial conflict, describing the agreement as unrealistic. In the same vein, students of the University of Ilorin have appealed to the federal government to consider their plight and resolve with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, so that academic activities can recommence. Olajide Bello reports that the students expressed this while staging a peaceful protest over the unending strike by ASU.
You know, just like the saying that where two elephants are fighting, it is the grass that suffers. And that is why the Student Union of the University of Ilorin are out here this morning to express their grievances. To let the federal government know that the students of the University of Ilorin and the Nigerian students are tired of staying at home. And we are tired of not attending classes. We want to graduate, and that is the reason we are here.
As
we are existing the educational settings. We are going back to various MDAs and parastatals to give a kind of implement what we've learned at the 4 walls of the institution. And if many of us are now going out as mediocres, what's the future of the country?
2020 we were home. 2021 we were home. Why? I've been in 400 level for the past 3 years.
I'm a 500 level law student. I'm hoping to move to law school by September if ASU comes back.
And you are neglecting the fact that lecturers come into the class to lecture for hours and you're not ready to sit down with them and negotiate.
Well, those are some of the agitations of the students of University of Ilorin. Some who just took JAMB with high hopes of coming into the same citadel of learning. But what is their fate? It's been Olajide Bello reporting, and it's back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Olajide Bello. We anticipate a quick resolution of the issues between ASU and, of course, the federal government. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, says it will not release the 2022 UTME results until all reports of examination malpractices are submitted. JAMB's registrar, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, stated this while fielding questions from correspondent Olayinka Uju.
As the 2022 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination progresses into the 4th day, JAMB says 70% of the results are ready. The registrar of JAMB noted that the board has no reason not to release results, but not until the board concludes an internal appraisal process.
One, we don't want this situation that you release results and you start to withdraw some. So we have asked people to submit reports, particularly of malpractices. And when we now, for the first day, after the result was ready and we now scrutinized, and we saw that about 40% of the results were not, the reports were not in. So why releasing 60% and creating confusion?
For candidates who are unable to sit for the examination as a result of technical hitches linked to one of the telecommunication companies, the registrar assured that they have been reassigned.
We have a technical issue from one of our service providers, and where they were supposed to use one character, they use another, and it created some problems for the candidates. But we have addressed that by reassigning them, and all of them, without exception, at the end of tomorrow, we are putting them 4th session. You know, 3rd session finishes at around 3:30. So we deliberately created a 4th session to clear such people, and we'll clear them by tomorrow.
At the end of today's UTME exercise, more than 1.6 million candidates have sat for the examination. Olayinka Uju, NTA News.
Adeola is standing by in our Lagos Network Center for the continuation of Nationwide. Good evening, Adeola. It's over to you.
Good evening, Ayodeji. The prosecution in the trial of Andrew Nice, the BRT driver suspected to have raped and killed 22-year-old Bamiche Ayanwole, has called a second witness as hearing into the case enters day 2. The witness, Kayode Aluko, who is the BRT operations manager, told the court that the suspect ran away when the case of a missing person on his allocated bus was reported to the company. Adeniyi Taiwo completes the report.
This is the second time that BRT bus driver Andrew Nice, suspected killer of Bamiche Ayanwole, will be appearing in court after his rearrangement by Lagos State government on a 5-count charge bordering on rape and murder. Mary Jane Ozezulu is the first prosecution witness, and she had told the court at a sitting on May 9, 2022, that the suspect raped her on the bus on November 26, 2021, after trying to strangle her and threatening her with a knife. During a cross-examination by defense counsel, Mary said she was the only passenger on the bus when the suspect, after picking her at Alesh Hotel bus stop Aja, stopped the bus around Lekki Conservation Area, dragged her to the back and raped her. The operation manager of BRT, Kayode Aluko, is the second prosecution witness to take the dock. While being led in evidence by Lagos State Director of Public Prosecution, Babajide Martins, he told the court that the suspect joined the company in September 2021 and signed the company's infractions laws and remedy policy, which contains the organization's operational guidelines for bus drivers. Despite vehement objections from the defense counsel on their admissibility as evidence before the court, copies of the policy and extract from the company's register for 25th and 29th of December 2021 and 26th of February 2022 were tendered by the prosecution and admitted as exhibits by the presiding judge, Justice Sherifat Shunaike. The exhibit indicated that the BRT bus with number 240257 was allocated to Andrew Nice for a PM shift that runs between 1 p.m. and 10 p.m. Kayode Aluko told the court that when Bamishe was reported missing while on the bus, Andrew Nice ran away from office until his arrest. The second witness is due for cross-examination by the defense counsel at the next adjourned date. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
Security of lives and property remains critical to nation building, and a place like Lagos, being one of the busiest cities in Nigeria and as a commercial hub, records influx of people on a daily basis in search of livelihood. However, not all of them are here with good intentions. Traffic congestion also remains a major challenge to residents, and those with criminal intentions have advantage of the situation to operate on highways. Linda Naka in this report examines the effect of traffic robbery on residents, which has become the order of the day.
They now operate in broad daylight, attacking anybody on sight who may be unlucky, and in most cases, their victims are those riding in private cars.
Around the National Theatre axis, who were driving past, and then you just see them, they just come in from the crannies there, and then the next thing, they're already eating the side door, side windows, try to break in. We had to drive past, reverse. That was the only way we could escape.
Passengers in commercial buses are not even spared, while truck drivers who ride in the evening hours also encounter these miscreants who break into vehicles trapped in traffic.
My phone was stolen from my pocket, I think around the Costain roundabout.
And most of them are actually doing it so they can get whatever they can to discard. Properties they can discard quickly and freely so they can buy hard substance.
Motorists say these criminals are becoming more audacious and very dangerous as they go as far as cutting off a finger or plug off an eye just to steal from their victims. Hardly will you find anyone in Lagos who do not have one or more stories to tell about these bad boys who lurk around areas prone to traffic and bad spots, waiting for their prey. Mobile phones are usually their easy targets, and any flashlights from within any oncoming vehicle they attack.
Through window, they can draw the phone. Before the driver tries to run down or passenger, they are already crossed because they have the particular way. Sometimes where they are robbing on top of that bridge, because they would near the bridge. Immediately they stole the phone, they have to jump down.
The Lagos State Police Command says it has been working round the clock to ensure that these notorious criminals are apprehended and made to face the wrath of the law.
We arrest these people on a daily basis. I also have statistics of that. And particularly on 3rd Mainland Bridge, yes, the IRS is doing a wonderful job. We are working, we'll keep improving on what we do.
Other security experts advise residents to always be more vigilant when on the road to avoid any form of attack by miscreants. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
We're done from Lagos, but do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/alllive and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Well, Obehi Otobo Apresai in our Benin Network Center will take over the reins when we return from this break. To stay with us.
The ever-busy ancient city of Onitsha is a commercial hub with millions of commuters seamlessly linking other states daily for business, leisure, and other purposes. to upscale its road network. The construction of a 1.6-kilometer long second Niger bridge, including a 10.3-kilometer highway furnished with other infrastructure, has been in motion by the federal government. This project will ease congestion on the existing 56-year-old Onitsha Bridge and boost the economic capacity of the state as it easily connects to other parts of the country. The completion of the world-class second Niger Bridge Onitsha will be one of the many proud moments of the state, its people, Nigerians, and foreign investors. Onitsha, which hosts the largest market in Africa, is geared up to boast of an impressive road network. Once again, these moments are made alive by the federal government, and it is deserving of all the applause.
A new edition of TV Guide is out, exclusively with Professor Umar Garba Dambata, Executive Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC.
We have unveiled the 622 as a toll-free line through which consumers can be able to lodge their complaints. And we have introduced the 112 as the national emergency number.
This edition is a compendium of mind-blowing stories for your reading pleasure, ranging from technology, entertainment, economy, media, politics, family, and lots more. Pick up your copy and get abreast with issues and trending features within our space. TV Guide, very incisive, very educative and compelling. Grab a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
Do you run a breast or cervical cancer service? Are you a private or public laboratory, clinic or hospital that offer any of breast imaging, cervical cancer screening, HPV vaccination, or other breast or cervical cancer services? Is your service a primary, secondary, or tertiary center located in any part of Nigeria, no matter how remotely located it is? If yes to any of these questions, then subscribe to the OCI Foundation's Savvy Breast app and become accessible and visible to millions of Nigerians. It is all for free. To subscribe, just type the Savvy Breast application form on Google or go to the OCI Foundation's page on www.ocifoundation.org and search for Savvy Breast application form. Complete the form and submit. And let millions of Nigerians patronize you, all for free. Become part of the OCI Foundation's quest to tackle breast and cervical cancers in Nigeria. And join us as we rise by lifting others.
Hello, welcome to a total of 9,500,000 naira has been disbursed to the 6 families of deceased officers who died in the line of active duty. The presentation of the financial assistance at the police headquarters in Asaba, Delta State, is courtesy of the Inspector General of Police. Rosemary Omani reports.
Widows, children, and relations of police officers who died in active service were compensated by their number 1 boss, the IGP, with the monetary benefit to enable them start up business while they await the federal government's gratuity. Representing the IGP, the State Commissioner of Police, Ari Mohammed Ali, made the official presentation of the checks. The IGP welfare claim is targeted at ameliorating the plight of the families of the deceased officers and also a motivating factor to serving officers.
And this welfare claim is designed by the present IGP in line with his welfare policy of ensuring that officers and men did not die and then die and go just like that. There's need for the force to keep up with them at least to survive the family.
A beneficiary, Brenno Bekodi, who lost his brother, thanked the IGP and federal government for the gesture.
I would like to thank the
effort of the CP and the IG in particular for remembering us.
The welfare package is to keep faith with the force insurance policy in Asaba. I am Rosemary Omani, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Edo State Police Command has charged to court one Pastor Benson Usakai of Power Ground Chapel, Benin, who allegedly hypnotized his members to give up their expensive belongings through the use of false prophecies and pronouncements. Goodluck Inaini reports.
The police arrested the said fake pastor, who is alleged to be a fraudster. On the 3rd of May 2022, one of his victims, Mr. Osamidiame Thompson, wrote a petition to the Commissioner of Police Edo State complaining that he was hypnotized by the pastor. The victim claimed the prophet said that he saw a vision in which he had an accident with his Lexus ES350 car and assured him leaving the car in the church for spiritual cleansing will avert the accident, which can result to death if it happens. The victim said he later realized that the car he left in the church was later changed from gold to black color. He said the prophet also collected his gold bracelets worth millions of naira.
Members in the church were telling us that he said, who drops car, come back again for the car, the person will die. That was the fear I was having in my mind that I could not speak up.
The suspect, who admitted to have collected the car, said the victim used it to sow seed in the church.
They gave it as a seed. Yes. To the church. Yes. Yeah. So I'm praying for them.
During a search conducted in his residence in Benin City, the police found a Lexus ES350 car and Lexus RS350 Jeep, allegedly obtained from one Odigie Gospower, using the same prophetic pronouncement.
The car has been recovered and one other car has been recovered to the station now. Investigations.
For the police commissioner, the likes of the accused must face the wrath of the law in Benin. Goodluck Inaini, NT News.
And that's it from Benin. Nationwide continues with Ayodeji in Abuja.
Thanks, Obehi, in our Benin Network Center. And there's still one more stop on Nationwide, and that will be in Jos, where Zinret is next.
Thank you, Ayodeji. The Election Petition Tribunal for Jos North, Bassa Federal Constituency and Pangshin South House of Assembly has commenced inaugural sitting at the High Court of Justice, Jos Plateau State. Indenyang and Abuja reports.
In his inaugural address, the chairman of the tribunal, Justice Hope Ozo, says the tribunal received 2 petitions on the national and state houses of assembly elections, asking all parties involved to avail the tribunal the support it needs to enable them discharge their responsibilities successfully. Justice Ozo also appealed to the legal representatives to maintain cordial relationship with the tribunal members, adding that there should be no private or official communication between members of the tribunal and legal representatives. One of the counsels, Yakubu Hassan Buba, SAN, says he has faith and respect for members of the tribunal as they have all made huge impact in the legal profession. The court adjourned till Thursday, 12th of May, 2022 to enable the counsels filing their reports and applications. From the High Court, Bukuru, Indenyan and Abuja, NT News.
Islamic Counselling Initiative of Nigeria says it is complementing government's efforts to promote peaceful coexistence, healthcare and economic empowerment of vulnerable groups through advocacy, capacity building and partnership towards a developed society. This was while on medical outreach at Dengi Kanam local government area of Plateau State. Ali Sabatukai Andrew reports.
The Islamic Counselling Initiatives of Nigeria envisions a society where poverty is reduced, education and health needs are addressed and accessible. Since inception in 2008, it has been working with various ethnic groups, communities and institutions in the areas of good governance, health initiatives and humanitarian services. Members were in Dengi Kanam local government to identify with victims of attack and to support them with medical equipment.
Why we are selecting this community is because they are a vulnerable community. They were attacked 3 weeks ago, and there are a lot of children and women that are displaced.
Beneficiaries expressed their gratitude for the outreach, which they say will go a long way to reduce maternal and infant mortality.
This Islamic community or organization that they came here to help people for malaria parasites. People, we are thank you, we are grateful them.
We are grateful to this organization for the relief materials they brought to us. May God bless them.
To try and use their mosquito nets. And if you are positive, please try and use your medicine.
The Islamic Counseling Initiatives of Nigeria promise to sustain its goal of empowering women and girls and other vulnerable groups. In Jos, Elizabeth Kai Andrew, NTA News.
That's it from Jos. Ayo, it's back to you.
Thanks, Zinret. Let's take a look at the latest in the world of sports.
The Nigerian Football Federation have 44 days to pay over 156 million naira compensation fee to former Super Eagles coach Kenneth Raw or risk incurring additional fines. The coach had approached FIFA over what he described as unjust termination of appointment. From the English Premier League, Liverpool will have another opportunity to close the gap on the log behind Manchester City Tuesday night with an away date against Aston Villa. And from the Spanish League, Barcelona will take on Celta Vigo Tuesday night, same for Granada against Athletic Bilbao. In volleyball, the 3 fixtures of the ongoing 2022 African Men's Clubs Volleyball Championship indicate that Espoir of Congo will take on Mada University of Ethiopia. As Club Olympic of Kilibia has a date with FAP of Cameroon, Nigeria Customs with 2-set lead lost 2-3 to Port Douala of Cameroon on Monday. With sports updates, Olumide Gotola, NT News.
And that's nationwide. We thank you for watching. I'm Ayo Deji. Makinde, please remember to connect with the NTA and stand against rape and rapists. On behalf of the entire production crew, good evening.